Hello everyone, this is Krotic giving you patch notes reviews for WarCraft 3 The Frozen Throne, currently on the playtest realm. Now, a lot of people were wondering, have I given up WarCraft 3 completely? No, but with the sheer number of shoutcasts and replays I have to review for the Machinima Realm Invitational, it's been fairly difficult to find and get time to look at some WarCraft 3 replays. So I thought it would be at least decent of me to take a look at the playtest realm patch and talk about what's happening in the game. So a couple of the balance changes. Guard Tower armor type changed to Fortified. This is going to change the game a lot actually, in terms of how guard towers are used. Guard towers generally, as they were being used, they took a lot of damage from magical attacks. So griffins were a very, very strong counter against those guard towers. But now that they're being changed to fortified, they are now going to be more vulnerable to siege damage. This also does help out some of the other races, especially Orc in general, as a lot of Orc players already use raiders. So as raiders now do siege damage, they will be dealing extra damage towards that one type. Another thing is heroes will not be able to take down guard towers nearly as much just because the heroes do deal heroic damage. Siege engine level increased from 2 to 3. This is actually a nerf to the humans, as human players before were able to just mass up a lot of siege engines and not really worry about them dying all too much. What happens is that siege engines at level, now that they're increased in level, will be giving more experience to your opponent's heroes. So thereby sacrificing siege engines to try to do a base race is not going to help out all too much. Finally, Rifleman hit point increased from 505 to 535. Pretty straightforward. That is a buff for Riflemen. Riflemen will now be stronger against Huntresses, as Huntresses and Riflemen, it was usually a battle of attrition. But now that now that Riflemen have a little bit more, health to them, they should be able to take additional bounce damage from those glaives and not really worry. Night Elves Warden Shadow Strike mana cost increased from 65 to 75. This was something that I thought should have been in place a long time ago. The Shadow Strike ability is similar to all of the other damages or all the other spells in WarCraft 3. Death Coil, the Storm Bolt, Holy Light not quite as much because it doesn't really deal damage, only against undead. But yeah, that initial damage and that high amount of damage for a spell at only costing 65 mana, this was a balance change that has been a long time coming. Druid of the Talon Fairy Fire decretion from 2 minutes down to 90 seconds. I also think that is a very, very proper buff. Being able to see your opponent's units for a full 2 minutes, that just seemed like a very long time, especially once the battle was over and you had a scroll town portal to return home. Moving on to the Blade Master Windwalk duration. This was one of those things that I also expected to come in. The Blade Master has been a very, very strong unit, especially after the Blade Master got to level 4, level 5. That level 3 Windwalk, allowing the Blade Master to essentially scout and run across the map for extended periods of time was very, very powerful. And that Blade Master getting that additional movement speed, you had the fastest unit in the whole entire game and a very, very deadly hero on top of that, being able to traverse, that was definitely necessary. Raider Ensnare, definitely happy about the cooldown increase from 12 to 16. It almost felt like once you had four raiders, you could never get your hero away from a raider, as those raiders would just constantly ensnare, making it very difficult. Ensnare was I think Ensnare was more designed to use against fleeing units and also air units, but because it is also effective against heroes, it almost became like a stun against hero units, and that I don't think was the general intention. Spirit Wolf rank 1 level decreased from 3 to 2. This will also mean that those Spirit Wolves will not give nearly as much experience. So that is very important for those orcs, and being able to have those Spirit Wolves die and not necessarily give so much experience early in the game. Now, moving on to the items. Ivory Tower gold cost increased from 30 to 40. Totally agree with that. Ivory towers were used and abused by human players for a very long time, and the fact that they were built so quickly made it really just not economical for human players to even build a guard or ivory or just what scout towers the old-fashioned way. So very nice there. Tome of Experience now gives 100 experience down from 150. Also very, very necessary, as many of the times that 150 experience, especially early on, getting your hero up to level 2 and level 3 that quickly was a complete game changer. I think one of the things that it will change is it will prevent a human player from being able to creep out the Goblin Observatory on Twisted Meadows, clear that creep camp, and get to level 3. And I think that's what they really wanted to reduce. They wanted to make sure that if you had a Tome of Experience and a Sobi Mask, that human didn't auto-win just because of those drops. Finally, Orb of Venom poison duration decreased from 8 to 6. And, you know, you're not really going to see too much of that real change. Normally, the Orb of Venom poison is on the Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter attacks, and it usually focuses on one target, and it attacks multiple times until it gets taken down. Also, the poison doesn't actually, I don't think it can actually kill a unit, so it doesn't change all too much there. But it looked like Blizzard wanted to try to decrease the Orb of Venom a little bit, and that is pretty good. So yeah, thanks for talking about all the balance changes. Thank you for Hong Kong Encanto for sending me the link to review the playtest Realm patch. I am going to be casting more Warcraft 3 games, and you can go ahead and just take a look at all of the other fixes as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Yeah, thank you guys all out there who still watch my Warcraft 3 shoutcasts. I did practice on Warcraft 3, and it still has a little bit of a soft spot, the whole entire Lord of Ron universe. Thanks for watching.